Welcome to Jestic. Today we're going to be looking at Rotisol rotisseries, and also we're going to be looking at ways of holding product cooked on rotisseries. Thank you for joining us. Chef Chris here, ready to produce. We're going to do some lovely chicken, some pork belly, some lamb and some pork. Chris?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start spitting up the chickens and we'll put them in the machine. Rich, maybe we can talk about who Rotisol are.
Of course, yeah. So Rotisol is a French manufacturer, family-owned business, second generation. They purely make rotisseries and display cabinets to showcase those products. And what we want to talk about a little bit today is how many different things you can put through a rotisserie apart from your conventional chicken. So Chris, we've got different types of rubs.
Yeah,
on these
so
chickens.
we have plain lemon with sea salt, a bit of olive oil, we have a Mediterranean rub and we have a peri-peri rub. They all give us slightly different finishes depending on what you're trying to give to the customer.
This one here is a Millennium rotisserie, gas, with 3 spits, capable of taking 15 chickens. We do electric and gas rotisseries, 4 or 5 different styles. We do the supermarket styles as well as these wall of flames, and we can do different colour options, different bases. We've got heated drawers, ambient cabinets. So what are we doing here then, Chris?
So what we're going to do on the rotisserie is we have the vertical spit system in there. So we're going to put a middle tray in. This will prevent any of the pork or the lamb dripping down onto the chicken. And then what we're going to do is hang some stuff off the vertical system. So I'm just get some pork belly here, which we're going to hook up. We're also going to cook this lamb shoulder. And then also we've got a celeriac, which we're going to cook whole on the vertical system.
That looks interesting. How do we cook that?
So essentially we're just going to stick a hook through it, and then that will spin on the rotisserie. And then once it's cooked, we'll be able to chop the top off it, like a boiled egg, mash up the inside, add some parmesan and olive oil, and it will be delicious.
That sounds fantastic.
We're going to put in the middle tray system. So we have these brackets that literally just slot into place, like so. And then what we have is a drip tray in the middle here. So now anything I'm cooking up on the top, it's not going to drip down on the bottom. So normally we would put water in here, but today we're going to do something a little different and put some vegetables in there. And then we're going to let loads of meat fat drip all over it. What we've got here is some potatoes we've blanched, and then we're adding lemons and capers, and these are going to go underneath the chickens. So we'll have the chicken fat dripping down into them.
This is always very popular when we do a demonstration on the rotisserie. It's like a showcase piece. Everybody loves it, and they want us to try and upscale that quantity. So sometimes you can harvest the fat from the rotisserie, save that, let it cool down, and then batch cook larger quantities of the potatoes. Rotisserie is looking really colourful there, Chris.
People often just think it's chicken's the only thing you can do, but as you can see, you're pretty much limited by your imagination.
It's a real showstopper, isn't it?
It certainly is.
So in here now, we've got the 3 chickens turning on the lower spit over the new potatoes with some lemon and caper, oil and salt. In the drip tray, dividing it up to stop the cross-contamination, we've got some lovely root vegetables in there. And we've got 3 spits turning on the vertical spit system, which is a very simple system with 3 hooks. So we've got some pork belly, celeriac, and we've got lamb shoulder in there, and that's obviously going to give all the flavour to the vegetables in the drip tray. This rotisserie is very bright, it's got a great top on it, Chris. So how does it work?
So basically we've got the fire at the back. Rotisserie cooking is taking something to heat and then taking it away and then repeating that over and over. So we have the flames out the back, and obviously the spits rotate. Control-wise, we have, on the gas model here, we have 2 burners. We can control from low flame height to high. We can also move the spits closer or further away from the flames. And what a lot of our customers like to do is move it to a high heat to start with to colour their food, and then pull it back to do a kind of a slower cook, because with the raw chicken in there, we know that's going to look great soon, but they like to get it brown and looking great as soon as possible.
More appetising.
Yeah, basically, absolutely. Generally with rotisserie cooking, you'll be serving from a holding drawer. So we would do a batch of chicken, load the holding drawer, put on another batch. So when the customer comes in, they're looking at the batch that hasn't been cooked yet.
Yeah.
but they'll be eating a chicken out of one that already has. So the great thing about the system is if we're not setting the chickens in the cabinet quick enough, we can slow down the cook.
Okay.
So that we're not ending up with too many
Not
chickens at
backing
the
up.
same time. Exactly that.
Interesting.
Or the other way around. If we're going through this quickly, we can bang up the heat, move the chickens closer, and speed up the
So at the end of service, and you've still got customers dining, it probably doesn't look the best being in an empty rotisserie. What's the options of and the benefits of having this vertical split system?
So what a lot of people like to do is throw a pineapple in it. It's just put something in it so visually the customer can see that it's doing something. So the pineapple is a great one because it's a pineapple spinning around in the oven.
It's cheaper as well, isn't
It's
it?
cheap.
Protein.
People are interested in it, but it's always handy to have something just turning around in there.
So how long is that going to take to cook?
The chickens, which are probably about 1.3 kilos, they're probably going to take about an hour. The potatoes and the veg, probably similar time. The pork belly, probably the same again, maybe another 15 minutes. The celeriac, probably an hour and a half. And then the lamb shoulder, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how we decide to.
Okay, so we'll be taking items out of this and putting it into
Yeah.
hold while other items carry on cooking.
Yes, basically. Okay, so Rich, we've just come back to look at rotisserie. Everything's cooked and ready to be taken off. We're going to start with the pork belly. Okay. So I have a little shelf here, which is helpful when we're removing stuff from the oven.
That's handy.
First thing, we're going to take the pork belly off. So you
Wow.
can see there, it's nice and crispy. And we're going to put this into the Duke holding unit here.
Crispy but still moist.
Absolutely. And one of the advantages of the Duke is that we can hold without a lid. So the top of the unit, we basically have this. So instead of being solid and keeping the moisture in, it's allowing moisture out, and that keeps the product crispy. So it means we can hold things like the pork belly or fried chicken for 45 minutes, an hour easily. With the lamb shoulder, which we're about to take out, this unit here has a solid lid, and what this does, it keeps the moisture in. Each of the containers for every product we're putting in, they have individual timers. Right, so next we're going to take the chickens out.
Got great colorization on those.
Yes, they look great, don't they? I'm going to put this into the Moduline. This is the cabinet. So Rich, what are the other options when it comes to the Moduline?
This is the smallest entry level at 3 gastronomes, and then we can go all the way up to a mobile holding cabinet with 28 gastronomes. So as you can see, Chris is loading up the holding cabinets. Main reason from this is during service, Chris will want to serve from the holding units rather than taking individual products off the rotisserie. So it's a smaller rotisserie is needed for feeding many people. Traditionally, a rotisserie, when cooking chickens, a chicken will serve 3 people on average. So whether you're in retail, you're a business and industry site, hotel, high street restaurant, we've got options of different styles of rotisseries in electric and gas, different sizes and configurations. I'm sure we can help you out. Thanks very much for joining us today, guys. I hope that you found it inspirational, and if we can possibly help you at all, please feel free to contact us via our website or by the mainline telephone number, and we can arrange to set up a demo tailored for your experience.